In 1996, Dame Dash was on top of the world co-founder of Rockefeller Records partner to Jay-Z. Fast forward a few years and the same man was getting jumped in Paris, clowned by 50 Cent and nearly attacked by Cameron with a baseball bat. By 2024, things hid in Nulo. Cent referred back to a video where Dame said 1 million was nothing gained 50. He turned it into comedy gold, mocking Dame's finances, even joking about him praying for his teeth to fall out. Savage. Put up your own money. If you don't put up your own money, I don't care how much somebody gives you, you're nothing but a supervisor. It's not yours, but how did one of hip-hop's most powerful figures lose the room this badly? Let's find out. So, what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of the day? Let me know why you call a meeting. Why? Because you do what it's like. Why? No. Why? Who cares? Why? We all here. Why no? You want to call a meeting? No one needs to sit down. No one is get the out. Dame Dash started as a hustle-hungry Harlem kid, born May 3 RD 1971 in New York City. Grew up in raw Harlem streets, hustling, sweeping barbershop floors, selling newspapers just to afford decent sneakers and shirts. He lost his mother to asthma when he was 15 and was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That same year, from hardship, he learned to hustle, turning survival into ambition that eventually allowed him into the music business. Alongside Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke, he co-founded Rockefeller in 1994 and helped push Jay-Z early on. Jay had been largely rejected by major labels, but Dame believed in his talent. They financed the operation through paid records and their hustle capital. Initially, Dame ran the day-to-day operations, cold calling DJs, pitching to distributors, and building grassroots momentum for Jay's debut album, Reasonable Doubt, released in 1996. Over time, Rockefeller aligned with Priority Def Jam for distribution, but remained essentially Dame's realm of daily power. His hands-on grind helped Jay become an icon. As Rockefeller grew, so did Dame's public persona. He was flamboyant, designer suits, multiple mansions, luxury cars, butlers, private detectives. In 1999, he and Jay-Z launched Wear, a streetwear brand with massive cultural appeal. In 2007, it was reportedly pulling in around $700 million in annual revenue. Jay eventually sold the brand's rights in 2007 for about $24 million. Dame's spending matched his swagger. He lived like a classic CEO, big purchases and lavish parties often. To prove status. But tensions began by the early 2000s. Around 2000-2001, rumors swirled about personal drama. Jay-Z and Aaliyah had been involved and Dame was allegedly less, creating friction among the founders, though neither camp confirms it fully. In 2003, Jay announced the Black Album and hinted that he planned to retire. That same year, tensions emerged publicly. Dame promoted Cameron to vice president of rock over veterans like Beanie Sigel and Memphis Bleek, a move Jay later called premature. This created internal firestorms within Thirster and signaled a growing split between the artist and the hustler. In 2004, Jay-Z accepted a role as president and CEO of Def Jam. Shortly after, in late 2005, Def Jam bought out their remaining stake in Rockefeller. Jay, now in complete control, bought out Dame shares in Rockefeller and cut him out. Dame was reportedly offered roughly 3.3 more as his share of the deal, but with no control over the Rockefeller name or label, which Jay retained. In December 2004, Jay invited Dame to dinner to finalize the deal. Only Dame later claimed he wasn't fully aware of the implications. Once and future mogul Dame Dash was left without his brand or label, exposed as far less in the driver's seat than he claimed to be. Dash didn't quietly exit. Instead, he went public, accusing Jay-Z and the industry of betrayal and claiming he never got proper credit. He began detailing legal battles, child support, judgments, lawsuits, and even having to auction his stake in Rockefeller to cover debts. Meanwhile, rumors circulated that Jay-Z himself intervened to protect those shares. Following the split, Dame launched the Dame Dash Music Group, but it saw minimal success. Most rock artists, Kanye, Beanie Sigel, Memphis Bleek, State Property, remained with Jay and Def Jam. Kanye eventually said publicly he felt bad for Dame and admitted he owed him despite making his fortune under Jay's brand. Meanwhile, Dame's lavish lifestyle caught up with him. He went through lawsuits, a 1.5 meters claim by Kerr, and had to sell homes, pay fines, and eventually auction off his stake in Rockefeller to satisfy creditors. Rumors claim Jay secured control over those shares to prevent anyone else from leveraging them. Still ambitious, Dame created Minus 172, a media collective and loft gallery INNYC, encompassing Blue Rock Records, Anir Gallery, a magazine, a web design firm, and film production. But none of these scaled to match Rock's success. His film ventures included Death of a Dynasty and a one-season bet reality show, Ultimate Hustler. Neither restored his brand in hip-hop. He also had a tumultuous personal life. Married to Rochelle Roy from 2005 to 2009. Their divorce featured bitter custody battles, restraining orders, and business disputes. He had multiple children and legal claims. In 2019, he was arrested for failing to pay over $400,000 in child support. Many Dash often blames others for his misfortunes and overhypes his own legacy, which has eroded some of respect he once had in the industry. But I'm not ashamed of that because I have things to show for it, but it isn't profited yet. I'm like a proud broke, but by 2004, the iconic Rockefeller Records was no more, at least not the brotherhood that fans remembered. Jay's just taken a huge step up in the industry, becoming president of Def Records. Meanwhile, his former partner, the Rockefeller co-founder Damon Dash, was slowly being edged out of the spotlight. The split wasn't just about business. It was personal and fans could feel the tension even though no one was saying much yet. Then in 2006, Jay's dropped Kingdom Come, his big comeback album. On it was a track titled Lost Zone. That's where things got spicy. Jay never said Dame's name, but everyone knew who he was talking about. The most sting line. I heard Mother Fiager saying they may have, or it may have say, okay, so make another have. That line wasn't just cold. It was calculated. It directly responded to years of Dame Dash publicly, claiming he was the architect behind Jay-Z's rise. Jay drew a line on the sand. You didn't make me, I'm a deep myself. The track also features another dig, should have stayed in food and beverage, too much flossing, too much Sam Rothstein. Now, for those who don't know, Sam Rothstein was a flashy casino boss in Casino 1995, who let his ego and love for the high life destroy everything. So that bar, that's Jay-Z saying Dame's lifestyle, his obsession with being loud, visible, and the center of attention ruined a good thing. That's what I didn't use. I never said to use the devil's money, and I still went, who's the devil's money? Whoever's. Not a creative that's exploiting an artist like a Lee or Cohen type of guy, or definitely Leo Cohen. He's a culture vulture. Made the term up for him. Now coming to the disc zone. By 2014, Dame Dash was still very much outspoken and not shy about throwing shots. Around this time, he was on a crusade, calling out music industry figures like Lil Cohen and others, labeling them culture vultures, a term Dame popularized to describe people profiting off black culture without contributing to it. That same label came back to bite him. Harlem rapper Jim Jones, one of the core members of Dipset, who used to rock closely with Dame back in the early 2000s, wasn't having it. Out of nowhere, Jim went off on Instagram. He posted a photo of Dame Dash with the caption, "This nah here is the real culture vulture and a thief. FK Fat Lil back Tommy Day." That wasn't just a light jab, that was straight up personal. Remember, Jim and Dame weren't strangers, they had real history. Dash had once backed Dipset and was instrumental in putting out projects like Cameron's Come Home With Me. So, for Jim to go that hard on social media, it wasn't random. It came from a place of possible frustration and possibly betrayal. Dane tried to de-escalate things, posting a response of his own, saying, "Real men talk in person, not on Instagram. If you feel I did you wrong, call me and let's talk like real men." But the damage was done to fans. This was another crack in Dame Dash's reputation. Here was a Harlem brother, someone he once helped put on, now turning around and calling him the explorer of the culture. When Jim Jones, not exactly the calmest voice in hip-hop, is telling you you've crossed the line, people start paying attention. This moment wasn't just another online beef. It reflected how far Dame had fallen from the days when artists like Dipset rode with him heavily. Well, things keep getting worse and awkward for Dame. Not going to lie, in a podcast, Same also confirmed what Cameron said about him bringing ends to Jump Same. According to Same, he felt disrespected by that act. You went and got a couple and you tell them you got a problem. They jump in the car, they didn't know who you got a problem with. They get down there, asked Dame, you boy to jump Dame Dash again. In 2019, things got messy for Dame Dash after an interview on Nick Cannon's podcast, Cannon's Class. Nick brought you pan old rumor that's been floating around hip-hop circles for years about Jay's and Foxy Brown, specifically the controversy around her age. When she was associated with Hovey, I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown. That's he didn't sign Foxy Brown. I know you putman asking because I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everybody. You're the boss. Now, Dame didn't exactly spill the tea, but he didn't shut it down either. And just like that, it felt like Dame was low-key stirring the pot without getting his hands dirty. Well, 50 Cent was nuther for that. He jumped on Instagram immediately after the interview dropped and blasted Dame, calling him a real sucker. His exact words, he is trying to get Jay jammed up. Two suckers chatting. That post went viral fast. The message was loud and clear. You don't mess with Ov's name, especially not over rumors involving a sensitive subject like that. And from the 50s perspective, it looked like Dame was cloud chasing using old drama to stay relevant in the headlines. This wasn't just about defending Jay-Z either. It showed how Dame's reputation had seriously shifted. Once seen as a bold business genius, he was now bungled out publicly by other moguls as Simeon who'd stir up drama for attention. And if there's one thing 50 Cent doesn't do, it's hold his tongue. But it doesn't end there, there's more. 50 Cent wasn't the only one pissed at Dame Dash and Hot 97's flex. He saw Rita's Funk Flex also sided with what 50 said. Flex jumped on Instagram and Twitter and unleashed a nuclear-level rant that shocked even a longtime hip-hop heads. He was eviscerating Dame Dash, bringing up deep personal history and old betrayals. Flex wrote, "To grown men giggling like concerned about Jay-Z and who he touching. Nick always commenting on a man chick, but can't keep his chick, Dame intern wife. Took all his suit, y'all two are a disgrace from my error," he added. Now that's not all, he also called Dame a snake, bringing back issues about Jay-Z and Aaliyah. Dame did a snake move, tell me I'm lying, you piece of so. And he wasn't done. Flex dropped bomb after bomb, reminding that Aaliyah, yes, the late-beloved R&B icon was reportedly Simeon was close to first before Dame whooped in and started dating her. He basically accused Dame of stabbing Jay in the back twice. Once romantically, twice professionally, and then came the lean that shook the internet. Dame is the reason The Rock crumbled. According to Flex, Dash's betrayal and disloyalty are what destroyed Rockefeller Records, the once dominant label that launched both Jay and Dame into the stratosphere. But Flex wasn't just targeting Dame, he took a shot at Nick Cannon too, calling both of them clowns and disgraces to hip-hop. In Flex's eyes, Nick should have known better than to even raise a question like that on camera. And Dame, he should have shut it down completely. Life, he was really a man of integrity. The online firestorm exploded. Fans, bloggers, and other radio personalities weighing in. Some agreed with Flex, others felt he went too far. Tone thing was crystal clear. Dame Dash was now being called out by industry elders as a full-on traitor. And how did him react? Well, after threatening legal action, yep, it got that serious, he eventually pulled back. Later that year, he issued a public apology not just to Funkmaster Flex, but to others had beefed with over the years, had admitted he might have burned too many bridges and wanted to make peace. With damage already done, Flex's rant wasn't just a personal attack. It was a full-blown indictment of Dame Dash's legacy, painting him as a backstabber, a clout chaser, and a pariah in the culture he helped build. It was the moment many in the industry officially stopped seeing Dame a visionary and started labeling him a liability. No one's trying to disrespect you. We're trying to show you love, but you keep coming at everybody. If you got beef with one person, you supposed to keep that beef with one person. You got beef with everybody around him. People that just it's you became the lame yash. You honestly can't count the number of people Dame's not a saint to in the industry because there's always another. Well, in 2020, Dame Dash appeared on the popular Drink Champs podcast hosted by Noriega. What started as a high-profile reunion soon devolved into friction on the show. Dash made valid comments suggesting that certain brands like Sirek Vodka, frequently featured on the show, were part of a conspiracy to turn hip-hop gay, a bizarre and unfounded claim that raised eyebrows. Nolita responded, calling out Dash for taking little fake shots at him. More revealingly, he aired a deeper issue. He claimed that despite contributing toward Teller films and soundtracks back in the day, he was never paid. He accused Dash of failing to handle business fairly, reigniting debates about Dash's leadership style. In turn, Dash tried to downplay Nor's contributions and claim Jay-Z had never wanted to sign him. They have highlighted a recurring theme. Former collaborators accusing Dash of exploitation and financial dishonesty while he continued to deflect blame. In 2024, tensions between Dame Dash and Nay had only worsened. When Dash gave in an interview commenting on Jay-Z's legal troubles while also taking shots at media figures like Charlemagne to go to Nuari, he implied that black media platforms such as Drink Champs merely protected Jay from criticism. This triggered a swift and sharp response. Fired back on Instagram sarcastically, dubbing him lame Dash, more clueless than Stacey, a jab at Dash's cousin, actress Stacey Dash. In a video rant, scolded him directly. You got beef with everybody around Jay-Z, you became Thelem Dash, the lame, chatty patty person that you said you were against, get your life together. Flipping Dash's own catchphrase, chatty patty, against him, made it clear that Dame had become the very thing he once condemned. He also pointed to Dash's financial downfall, contrasting his own successful globe-trotting life with Dash's now public money struggles. The public scolding served as a brutal reminder that even those who once respected Dash's business acumen now viewed him as bitter, unstable, and out of touch. I mean, I don't think Bleak wanted to take over. I don't think he had the ability to, no, Jay was writing a lot of his rhymes. So if Jay retired, that meant he was out of business as well. In late 2024, Dame Dash once again found himself under fire after stirring up controversy during a podcast interview. This time, his target was Memphis Bleek, Jay-Z's longtime friend and protege. Dash casually dropped a bombshell, suggesting that Bleek never truly wrote his own lyrics. During the height of Rockefeller's reign, Jay was writing a lot of his rhymes, Dame said, brushing off Bleek's credibility as an artist. I can understand Bleek's loyalty to Jay because he had Jay as a ghostwriter. The implication was loud and clear. Bleek, a familiar name from Jay's early albums and the Rock's foundational years, was portrayed as more of a shadow than a standalone rapper. According to Dash, his success hinged entirely on Jay-Z's pen and mentorship, not his own talent or grind, but Bleek wasn't having it. In a rare public clapback, the Brooklyn rapper took to social media and fired back with humor and sharp sarcasm. He, wildening right now, bro, Bleek it weeded, clearly amused by the claim, but he didn't stop there. Leaning into the accusation, he quipped, if Jay wrote for me, maybe I'd still be lit, and people said I was whack, so if Jay wrote for me, he whacked. 2. It was a clever reversal. Bleak dismissed Dame's statement not just as false, but as self-defeating. If the ghostwriting claim were true, he reasoned, then it would make Jay-Z look bad too. A notion most hip-hop fans would reject outright. In essence, Bleak turned Dash's dig into a compliment, suggesting that if Jay really had been behind his bars, any critique of Bleak was also a swipe at the GOAT himself. More than just witty, Bleak's reaction revealed a growing frustration with Dame Dash's pattern of revisiting old Rockefeller history and spinning narratives to serve himself. For someone who had largely avoided public drama for years, Bleak stepping out to address this showed just how out of pocket he felt Dame was. This incident further painted a picture of Dash as someone stuck in the past, dredging up stories, true or not, for headlines and shock value. For many in culture, it was another example of Dash burning bridges with those who once stood beside him while trying to cling to relevance by rewriting history. From what is clearly obvious, Dame Dash's legacy has become a mix of respect for his early hustle and frustration with his later antics, which has turned into disrespect. While no one can deny his impact on hip-hop, co-founding Grokler and helping launch Jay's career, many feel he's done more harm than good in recent times. His public rinse, finger-pointing, and refusal to take accountability have burned bridges even with those who once had his back. The culture has made one thing clear: respect in hip-hop isn't just about what you build, it's also about how you carry yourself. When it falls apart, and in Dame's case, it seems many feel he lost plot long ago.